Hi everybody, welcome to this 5-day live video challenge. I'm really happy to be doing day 4 today of this 5-day challenge. Day 4 is about making the best decision for your business and also in your life by connecting with your intuition. And so welcome, let me know where you're from. And so basically, just a little bit about me, if some of you don't know me yet. My name is Gaëlle Lecourt and I'm a life and business coach. And I basically support women who are in the corporate world to reclaim their personal freedom and be really who they truly are and do what they really love. And often they come to me to start their own business online as a coach, and that's why I was excited to start this 5-day challenge. Basically, I made the transition between my corporate job and being an online life and business coach 2 years ago. That is a lifestyle that I really redesigned. Hi, thank you for the hearts. I really redesigned my life so that it really fits my needs, and what that meant is that during the winter I wanted to be living on the beach by the Caribbean in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and in the summer I wanted to go to France because I have 2 little nieces and I really wanted to see them, so I go spend a couple of months in France. And in between Mexico and France, I share my time in the US as well, and that's where I am right now for like about 2 months. So this is really like, I'm really excited about today because reconnecting with my intuition is really what allowed me to really plug into what was the next signs. A lot of women in my Facebook group, Finding Yourself Abroad, Reclaiming Your Personal Freedom, ask me, what did I do to get the clarity? What did I do to get the signs that coaching was what I was meant to do in my life? And honestly, it goes all back to intuition, to really find this peaceful moment, to really make peace around me, to be able to listen to the signs and listen to the intuition. And so I'm going to talk to you about that today. The reason why I'm really excited to empower you ladies to start your own online coaching business is because I know how it can empower you to get financially free, to have the lifestyle you desire with a lot of travels. I am a traveler myself, and so this is really the type of woman who are attracted to me are the women who love taking care of themselves, loved going to the spa, love food because I'm a food engineer by study, and also, you know, be who you truly are, really reconnecting to your values, like shredding off all the social conditioning that you had, and all, you know, the conditioning from the TV, the news, your childhood. And I really know how this 5-day challenge that I'm doing can be really empowering for you to really kick fears and start your own business. So I'm really excited to really build that fire inside of you so that you can make that first step and move forward. So please share this Periscope. You just swipe up or right depending if you're on Apple or the Android system. And basically I'm going to share with you the content of today. It's going to take about 20-30 minutes. And then I would like you to please hold your questions. Feel free to share how you resonate with the content during the presentation. You can either tap on your screen or share your comments. But if you have any question, please hold it on and write it on a piece of paper so that you don't forget it. And I'll be happy to answer all of those at the end of this broadcast. So today is day 3, and on the agenda we are working on make better decisions by connecting with your intuition. And I'm going to talk to you about like what's the missing piece really for many women entrepreneurs, and my strategies to really transform doubt into alignment and inspiration. And so before we start, I really would like, as usual, before we start, I would like to do setting an intention with you. And so if you can just take a couple of seconds to really tune in and be wondering, what are you looking for today with this, listening to this broadcast, and how do you want this energy that we are spending together to be used? So really focus on what you're trying to accomplish today. All right, let's get started. So today I wanted to start my broadcast with sharing some statistics with you. It's kind of like the research scientist inside of me talking to you. It was like 3 days I didn't use any stats, so I thought I might do it. I can't take it anymore. There was some research that have shown that basically, or that have studied how intuition was or was not relevant, you know, how accurate were decisions based on intuition. And so for that, there is a university in Tel Aviv who showed to different group of people 2 set of numbers, and so those set of numbers were representing stock market fluctuation, and so, or like return on investment, if you will. And there is those 2 different set of numbers, and so let's say there is 6 numbers going super fast on the left, and also 6 numbers going super fast on the right. As a matter of fact, it was about like 2 pairs of numbers shown per second. And so basically they were, you know, increasing the number of pairs they were showing, and they were asking the participants to say what would be the highest average. And you know, of course, it was way too fast for anybody to be able to make this calculation in their head. It was way too fast to just have a feel for it. So they really had to go with like their gut. And what they realized is that they really have to rely on what we call intuitive arithmetic. And so the results were that, for example, when shown 6 pairs of numbers, the participant chose accurately 65% of the time. So 65% of the time, people were right, following their gut and their intuition. But wait, when they were shown 24 pairs, so definitely no way to calculate super fast, even if you're a math teacher. When they were shown 24 pairs, the accuracy rate grew to about 90%. And so Professor Ursher from the University of Tel Aviv has concluded that intuitively, the human brain has the capacity to take in many, many pieces of information and decide on an overall value. And so we could really trust our gut reactions to make quality decisions. And so as a coach, you know, who support women to reclaim their personal freedom, to really communicate who they are and do what they love, I always have to show them at some point how to reconnect with their intuition. Because this is really what's inside of them. And we are basically, through the coaching, trying to get it out of them and out in the space. And so this intuition is going to really guide them into moments where they are not going to know what to do, because let's be honest, there are some of those moments where you really have to make a leap, not necessarily having all the data you need. And so intuition is what is going to guide those women to make the best decision. And I'll talk to you in a little bit about one of my clients and how this technique has helped her do a tremendous transformation into her life. Personally, like I mentioned, without my intuition, I wouldn't have been able to make such a change. Because when I quit my corporate job in the flavor industry, and when I arrived into Playa del Carmen, Mexico, I had several ideas for my future and things that I could do and things that I liked. And I wanted to give to this future self, to my future self, the woman who would have quit her job for following her dreams, I delegated to her the task of finding what really she would like to do, because from my space in Cincinnati, from me in my corporate job, I knew I wouldn't be able to understand this woman that I would become. So intuition when I arrived in Playa del Carmen was really important, and that's what led me to understand what are the signs that I'm seeing, and testing with my intuition, are those signs something that I need to follow or not. And so, I was so buried under a lot of social conditioning and childhood pressure, and what other people want me to do, what TV and media want you to do, actually, because they, sell you a dream of success and happiness that honestly doesn't fit everybody. And so the USA was really a lot like a smoke mirror for me. And really, my whole life in America was, yes, very successful on the outside by the standard of, sorry, I have something in my eye. My life was successful and amazing based on the standard of American society. But inside of me, I wasn't fulfilling my heart. I knew there was something more. I knew I didn't want to stay in this rat race, to be honest. I didn't see the interest in staying in this rat race, the purpose of it. And so I really thought that there was something else for me. And I was so scared of letting go of what I had built for 10 years. Like, I had an amazing career, and what if it didn't work? What if I was wrong? What if I was chasing a dream that just doesn't exist? And that was really, really scary. And that's why I'm so passionate. Now that I've made the jump, now that I know how amazing it is on the other side, how fulfilled I am and how happy I am every freaking day, I want you also to be really living this. And that's why I'm so passionate about really showing you how to connect to your intuition to reach the other side. So why fear and intuition are really important for today's talk? Basically, I want you to understand that fear is like a sense of becoming nervous. It's oh, there's a little squirrel. It's just, I'm amazed. There is like a lot of nature. I'm so blessed. Fear is basically a sense of being nervous. You're getting scared when you get outside of your comfort zone, and you're feeling fear. If you're feeling fear, you're probably stretching yourself. But I want you to really pause in a second here and be like, okay, when is the last time you felt fear? Because if you're not feeling fear, you are not stretching yourself, and you're not dreaming big enough. The founder of the Gestalt therapy, Fritz Perls, says that fear is excitement without the breath. And so how, like, when it's the first time you're trying something, when you're on the verge of discovering something, you have this excitement in you, and so basically the adrenaline is released so that you can get full awareness of what is this big experience you're gonna have. Well, the problem is that with fear, it's the same thing. Adrenaline is being released, but adrenaline is being released to try to get you to either fight or fly. And that's something we talked about, I think, in the day number 2, when we talked about the fears and overcoming your fears to start your own business. So basically, it's the same system, except that when you are feeling fear, it might just be excitement without the breathing. And if you were to breathe through your fear, you would actually probably reveal excitement for up-leveling your life, excitement for doing what you really love, excitement for having the success and the money you're desiring. And so it's really important to feel a little bit of fear, but to keep going and follow your gut and find this connection with your gut in the midst of this excitement. And so how do you achieve this balance? I'm going to talk to you about it in a second. You have to understand how we get into fear, because the sooner you block that pattern, the better it is. So basically, it starts with like indecision. When you have indecision, then slowly, if you keep being indecisive for a week or two, you are going to start feeling doubt. And then basically doubt and indecision, I don't know why I can't say that word with proper English accent, but anyway, you get me. Those two will actually melt and at some point be transformed in fear. And you really don't want to be in a place of fear, because when fear becomes extreme, it feels really like you've been there forever. Do you remember, the last time you felt fear and it just felt like it had been like hours you were in this situation, you were really overwhelmed. And actually, I want to point to you that the part of the brain processing fear is actually the amygdala. And when the amygdala is turned on, it's really difficult to turn it back off, which is why I want you to breathe and not get into fear. That's why, for example, the TV and the news are always bombarding us, because you will basically get addicted to it. And they know that. It turns your brain on, and that it makes it stay on in a fear place, in a scarcity place. So, you always never have enough of time, never have enough money. You always want more. You want the bigger house. You want the bigger car. You always want more of this and that. So that's how the TV and the news are keeping you, in fear of scarcity. And in fear, you actually cannot see new ideas, because your body is just ready to fight. It doesn't have the creativity to look at the bigger picture. It doesn't see the connection in between the dots. It's just trying to focus on the problem instead of like seeing different solution into the environment. And so fear definitely distracts you from a solution, and then you become part of the problem. And when in fears, you really have like a tunnel vision where you see only your issue and cannot solve it. And so the goal when you connect with your intuition is to get out of this tunnel vision and to really see the bigger picture in the universe, really see the different dots around you that you could actually use. And so that way you feel better, you will find solution by tapping into your intuition. So I want you to note down what are the signs to recognize fear versus intuition. Because a lot of women, have asked me in the past, when they hear something and when they have a feeling, so let's say an example, they have a feeling that they shouldn't start a business, that it's too much risk, they're not going to succeed. Well, the big question, and it's pretty fair, is to ask, well, is that my intuition guarding me from a danger? Or is it just me having a fear? So that's why it's super important to know what are the signs. Fear is highly emotional, very, very emotionally charged. It yells at you until you panic. So you're going to keep hearing it until you give up or shut it down. It really reflects past psychological wounds. And the characteristic of fear is also that it either connects and focuses with the past or the future. On the other hand, when you are looking at intuition, intuition is neutral. There is no emotion linked to it. It's very, very compassionate. and it feels right. It has like an affirming tone. There is no question in it. It's just an affirmation that you hear. It's definitely a clear impression and one time, and it's only about the present. So that being said, I would like to tell you about 3 questions that you can ask yourself that come from those different those signs of difference that I just explained you. 3 questions to know if you are feeling fear or intuition. The first one is, how is your body feeling? Because, like I said at the beginning, fear is very highly emotionally charged. And during my studies in research, I've studied emotions a lot. And so you can be sure that if you are in fear, you're gonna feel your heart racing, you're gonna feel sweat on your hands, a rush of blood going into your legs. If you ever had this close of an accident, you know, like when somebody brakes in front of you, you're driving and they suddenly brake and you brake like reflex style, and then 5 seconds after you get like this weird sensation like your legs are cut. At least that's what we say in French, it cuts your legs. That's a feeling of like something weird in your legs. Anyway, I don't know how you say it in English. But this is basically the blood rushing to your legs, because if you have to get out of a car, if you have to jump or whatever, then you are ready. You have all the blood going to your legs so that your muscles are really well nourished by the blood, and you can go and get this superhuman efforts that, you know, how some people under adrenaline are able to really go beyond their limitation and their capabilities to save somebody or things like that. So how is your body feeling? If your body is feeling like rested, you know, it's an intuition. If your body is feeling like something is pushing on your chest, if your breathing is really, really shallow, if it's really fast, you're totally under the experience of an emotion, and that would most likely be fear. The second question is, where is the focus of your sensation? Like I mentioned, fear is always in the past. There's a hummingbird too. It's just amazing. I'm so happy. The focus of a sensation, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future. So if you feel the focus is in the past or the future, this is fear. Let me give you an example. If the sensation you're having is telling you like, yeah, in the past this happened, I got hurt, or like, if you do this, maybe this will happen in the future. So either they are going in the past trying to get data, either they are going into the future trying to paint you the most horrible movie of the planet. This is fear talking to you. This is the ego trying to protect you and projecting those fear movies inside your head to be like, hey, you know what? I don't like, your ego is basically like that. Hey, I don't want to go there. All I want is being comfortable. Let me just sit in my box where I'm comfortable and I'll feel better and you'll be protected. That's my job. I know I do that like a killer, but that's my job to protect you. And basically what it does, it's really, you know, wrapping you into bubble wrap and you can't do a damn thing in your life. So, on the opposite, if on the side of intuition, you would just be like having this affirmation, don't go there. There is no need to give you data about the past. There is no need to tell you what if, and why. It's just like, don't go there. You're in a dark alley, don't go there. You just hear it once. And the third question I want you to ask yourself when you have such an insight, to know if it's a fear talking to you or if it's an intuition, is it chaos around you? Or inside of you, as a matter of fact, as well? Or is it actually quiet and peaceful? Because you see, intuition only appears into quietness. It's this really, really little voice. And the more you run like crazy in your life, the more you will get your body to be in a fight or flight mode. The less you're going to be able to hear your intuition. So, as an image, imagine somebody whispering to you in a concert, in a very loud concert. You're not going to hear anything. That's the same. The person whispering is your intuition. The chaos around you is the concert. So now I hope you understand how important it is to basically have quiet, peaceful time into your life and to slow down so that you really connect with your intuition. I actually have made a guided meditation to help you reconnect with your intuition. I've done it live at an event last week and it really went well. A lot of women actually had very important insights. They have found solutions to issues they had in their business. They've got answers to questions they had in their personal life. So I thought that to share it with more women who needs it, I will record it. So I recorded it recently, and it's a 10-minute meditation, so we are not going to go over it right now, but I will post it on the Facebook group that is called Finding Yourself Abroad, Reclaim Your Personal Freedom. So when you join it, you will be able to find the 10-minute guided meditation. And what I wanted to do though, to just give you this kind of different tools to tap into your intuition, and I will go more in depth, but one that I was using, I just had this intuition, that's the case to say. I just had this intuition before doing this broadcast. I was like, I want to share something that I do with these ladies so that they can really, it's not just theory, it's also practical. And so I have, when I travel, I have this set of cards, and I have different ones, but this one I really enjoy because it's a Kahanapono cards. It's from the Hawaiian philosophy and Hawaiian culture, and so basically, you just take one card, and there is different drawing possible. I personally use it when I used to give Lomi Lomi massage to friends and family, because it's kind of like giving you guidance. That's a total different scope if I go talking about the Lomi Lomi massage. So let me just tell you that before I had an inspiration, I was like, I want to draw one card. And I asked myself, I was like, what is the one thing that the women who are going to listen to me and the recording of this video, what do they need to hear? And the card I got is Nai Nai, it's compassion. It's here. And so I'm going to read you the meaning of that card, because I know that one of you needs to hear that, and that it's going to be super helpful and very enlightening to one of you. So I'm really glad to be the channel. If your life is very much into overwhelm mode, and you cannot tap into your intuition yet, I'm really happy to be this channel and to deliver you the message, basically. So, the compassion cards say, so you found yourself falling and failing once again. You are out of the canoe and drowning in your stuff. So let me just give you a little of introduction. The Hawaiian philosophy sees the journey of life as a journey where you are in a canoe in the ocean, and so if you are inside the canoe, you are centered, you are in your space, and when there is wave of life and storm in the ocean, basically is the different things that happen in your life, then if you fall out of a canoe, that's because you weren't into your centered space. All right, so you find yourself falling and failing once again. You're out of the canoe and drowning in your own stuff. You need rescuing, and there, swimming toward you through the high seas of your turmoil, is your rescuer. You can't see her? Can you guess why? Are you in your spirit greatness? Apply your senses to seeing what's right there. Your Savior come to hoist you back or bring you back in the canoe. And it's Nai Nai, the compassion, the gentle spirit of compassion. Embrace your rescuer. Reach out and hold on to gentle compassion like the lifesaver she is. Allow yourself to really, really feel compassion. Compassion for yourself, compassion for others. Just lost my... For the situation you're in. Let the sweet spirit of Nai Nai surround you and soothe you. You've been tossed about by old pattern for many, many years. And paddling the canoe is new to you. So of course you're going to flail and wail. Nai Nai knows that, so help her out. Hear her whispered encouragement and feel the warmth of her admiration for the tenacity of your efforts. You haven't given up yet. Even with all you've been through. She'll commiserate with you when the going gets tough. She will chuckle at your foibles until you yourself can smile at them. Feel the delicate breeze of her presence caress you. Taste your salty tears as she wipes them away. Allow yourself to really embrace compassion. Allow her to rescue you in times of pain. Of all the precious companions on your spiritual journey, she is the sweetest, most steadfast and kindest of them all. And this is an extract of the Kahanapono cards by Connie Rios, by the way. So, how to get connected with intuition? The first exercise I would like you to do today is to record the data. Start recording for 30 days the data about what my intuition is telling me. What did I do? What decision did I make? What is the output of it? And I know you're not gonna like, maybe, you're like, what? I need to make mistakes to know? Yeah, you do. Because you know what? Even when I knew how to connect with my intuition, I was, especially with romantic situation, I would constantly listen to my intuition, hear my intuition, and go do something else. And that pattern went on and on and on. Until one day I decided to read my journal and go over it to see what have been happening in the last 6 months. And there it was. I was reading my story. I was reading that on Monday, for example, intuition had told me to do action A. On Wednesday, I was reading that I did action B. On Friday, I was reading how miserable I was, not connecting those, because on Friday I was just so much into my situation and misery that I was like, it didn't work, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? When you read, you can actually clearly see the pattern. You did what was the opposite of your intuition, basically. Like, what did you expect, you know? So really record the data for 30 days so that it's going to give you insights about how do you feel, you know, you can record the answers to the questions I gave you. How do you feel? What did you do? And which result did you get? That way you will really better know the difference, because also it's going to bring you into a state of awareness and you will really be able to know what's going on. So just get a journal for 30 days and write down, you know, when like you keep shrinking under fear, or when are you expanding with intuition. And, you know, I don't want you, like, fear is actually really, I don't want you to, like, stigmatize it. Like, it's actually really useful. A long time ago, it was used for survival. Now it's much rare that a lion is crossing the street when I go out, so I don't need that survival mechanism to enter into a mode of on, because I'm not gonna meet, though there are bears in America, but I'm not gonna meet a lion tomorrow. Well, now it's more modern, kinda, like you will have fear being triggered by feelings that are threatening you, such as feeling of abandon, of reject, when you're feeling like you're undervalued. And so that's really important, because that tells you a lot about you, actually. So fear is just like a cue, basically. When you start feeling it, when you start feeling a trigger, you can analyze like, what is it behind that triggered it? Did I feel rejected? Or do I have a fear of being rejected? Or not loved, not being enough, etc. The second exercise I would like you to do to help you out identifying fear and intuition is to basically list all your fears. And the reasoning behind that is, if you list all your fears, you will know what's triggering you. And so next time, somebody is inviting you to speak with a group of women, for example, if you know you have a fear of public speaking or being ridiculed, then you will know, oh, I said no, or I have this impulse to say no. But that's because I simply have this fear of public speaking, which is totally not founded. If you look back, like, that way is kind of like the back door, basically. It's, I want to make a pause right now. When I tell you, like you do trial and errors and journaling, it's really the way like you go through the fire and you will learn as is. It's like Tony Robbins when he makes people walk on burning charcoal. This way, the second way I'm just talking to you about and listing your fears, is more like the smoother way or backdoor way, which is about you working with a coach to be able to understand, like you are aware that you have those fears, and then you will work with somebody to bring you to a place where, okay, what is this fear? Where does it come from? Did it come from like an experience when you were young? Is it the fear of being judged and criticized? And so the coach can help you get into a new space where being judged and criticized and the the opinion of other people is not that important for you. It doesn't petrify you, basically. So that's what I had to say about listing your fear. Let me double check if I'm forgetting anything. Yeah. So definitely learn to meet your intuition through journaling, through meditation. And again, I have some reference I'm going to give you for journaling. There is an amazing book for that. And the meditation, I will post it in the Facebook group, so you can go check it out. But just a note about meditation, I want you to remember that sometimes intuition during meditation brings you either several options or no option at all. Sometimes, you come out of a meditation and it's just blank. I want you to really honor this moment, because not all the answers need to appear at the time you want it. The answers need to appear at the right time, and sometimes you want it too early. So many times, in my life, I really wanted things to happen, and I basically was forcing it, really, because I can be really, 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 really stubborn. And so basically, I want you to be really acknowledging that maybe it's not the right time, that maybe you really feel like you want an answer, but that your answer is to wait when it shows up, and to be receptive, for when it's going to be downloaded on you, that you're available. If you're running like a headless chicken, it's not going to be able to catch you and fall on you, basically. One example in my life that I remember is when I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I had given my resignation letter for my job, for my home, and so I was in the process of selling all my belongings. And I had just came back from a business trip in Europe. I had sent an email to all my email contacts, and I had posted every photos, every description on Craigslist to sell it. And I had I had a month to do that. And I was so frustrated because 10 minutes after, there was no email, nothing coming up. That's how impatient I am, by the way. I post an ad on Craigslist and I expect to have people contacting me 10 minutes later. I've learned a lot by being in Mexico. I was able to work a lot on patience, thank goodness. So, I was really I was contacting my friends who knew more about Craigslist, because I definitely wasn't an expert. And my friends were like, how long ago did you put the ad? And I'm like, well, 10 minutes ago. And they were like, Gail, just relax, give it some time. It's posted, don't think about changing the description or I wanted also to decrease the price, They're like, no, just relax. You've done your job, leave it alone. And it took me a ton of effort to let go and to take a book and to read, because when I came back from Europe, it was actually really, really getting really cold, and I had all these summer clothes, and so I kind of was catching a cold. And so my mom at that time was telling me, just rest this weekend. You got to rest, because she could hear I was starting to get sick. And so I was like, okay, everybody's telling me that, so I guess there's nothing more to do. And so I decided to relax. I took a book and I read all weekend. And it's really putting you into an art of receiving, what Abraham Hicks is saying, the art of receiving what you're desiring to manifest in life. And you know what? At the end of the day, I went back to my computer and I had those emails, and they had been arriving while I was reading. The difference is I wasn't spending my time worrying about it and making mistakes and maybe decreasing the price when I didn't need to. I actually enjoyed my time while those were arriving. So it was a waiting time that was very, very pleasant for me. And being pleasant, I was quiet, I was at peace, and I could have the best decisions regarding what to answer about those emails. So really, when I want to talk to you about my strategies to really get out of doubt and plug into your intuition, I want you to remember that worries have never, ever helped you. I am giving you the challenge. If worry has helped you, go onto the Facebook group, please, or get on a call with me and tell me exactly how. It has never helped you. So just choose to trust the universe and trust the journey. And instead of saying what if this doesn't work, especially for me, that kind of stuff really, really get triggered when I have an investment, when I have, to have money questions, or a financial investment I want to make into program for coaching or online business. That's the trigger, basically. So instead of saying what if it doesn't work, I'm going to put $4,000 into this coaching program, and what if it doesn't work? I invite you to just stop with that worry and be what if it does work? Focus only on that. What if that coaching program does work? What if you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clients out of it? Do you know what's going to happen? Because I can tell you, because I have invested in myself. I have invested like more than $10,000 into coaching programs for my business. What's going to happen when you are making 1, 2, 3 clients, when people are coming and signing up with you, you're basically are going to do what we call a return on investment. So the first business coach I hired, it was 3.6K. And I think I told you that already in previous video, but for those of you who are new, my first business coach, I hired 3.6K, and 3 weeks later, I had my first client, and it was a day where I received $4,700. So my coach was paid for, and I had a profit on top of that. That's what's going to happen. That's all what's going to happen. So really focus on like, what if this works? What will I be able to do? What's my potential? So yeah, you will always kind of like regret more what you didn't do than what you will do. Actually, you will always learn something. And I want also to make a note with you about, because this is my strategy. I'm sorry I didn't say it super clear, but this is one of my strategy, to have a super positive mindset and looking and focusing on the expansion of myself. Because inspiring me and putting my vibe super high, vibing up, is basically super important for me, because when things that bothers you are coming to you and you're vibing up, basically they're just peanuts. You don't care. And it would trigger you usually, but you just brush it off. That's something also that happened to me through all my expatriation. I really realized that early on. When I was in France, the little thing, would be so annoying. Stupid things. A lot of people in France are just like making a huge drama out of something super, super simple. And because I was being expatriated in Switzerland and I was in Zurich, so they were speaking German, I wasn't speaking German at all. And when I was in America, which is very different than Europe, I had other things to think about. I couldn't deal with like those little peanuts drama, it's just like I had so much bigger things to assimilate and take care of, that I didn't have a space in my head to have drama about things that are peanuts. And so really I was so happy to be expatriate. I was so happy to living my dream that I was vibed up, and nothing, like, I don't know, like a light bulb breaking or somebody lying to me or whatever, wasn't putting me down. Because my vibration was raising that high. Anything that was here was just like, yeah, okay, well, done. Next. Okay? So my strategy is to really get into that vibe and really get plugged, because that's in this vibe that you get plugged to your intuition, is I am listening to audio book, Wealth Consciousness book, and what I will do, if you want, is like I will send an email to the people who are subscribed to this challenge to give you the list of Wealth Consciousness book that I love. If you're not on the email, let me quickly show you how to. So if you go on to gaillecourt.com, basically here you have, you have a banner, blah, blah, blah. But here you have like latest news, 5-day free challenge. And so you click on more info or 5-day free challenge. And basically you will be able to register for the email. And then you will receive those books that I want to recommend. There are so many. Let me keep going. Yeah, because it's already like an hour again. All right, so Audible books. I just listen when I do take my breakfast, when I go in the shower, when I go for a walk, everything. Amazing to vibe up and bring up your vibration. What else can you do to get out of fear? Walking has worked a lot for me. So again, there is the audiobook, but just walking the hell out of your fear. Basically, sometimes, you know, like I would go on a walk and I would really feel like angry. I would walk fast and da 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 da. And after 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, doesn't matter, it depends. After that much time, it's just like it's out. I walked it off, you know, and the anger or the fear is out, and then I am actually really listening to the audiobook. That's something like when I'm angry, etc., like movies are going inside my head. There is the audiobook in my ears, but I don't really catch it. And then when I walk it off, I know, because then I'm listening and I feel better, and that's how I know it's time to stop and resume whatever I was doing. You can work out, go to yoga, do some breathing exercises. You can call a friend who is supporting you. Please don't call somebody that is not supporting you and is going to put you in a deeper hole than you already is, or than you already are. And so calling a friend, do whatever, you know. I have a list of everything that vibe me up, and I'm going to go through the list until I vibe up. Like, do that until you feel better, definitely. I also rely more on the signs, and so basically, you know, there is like animals medicine card. So I just saw a turtle out there yesterday, and I went up onto the medicine card turtle to see what it meant, and it was talking about protection, and so it was really nice to, you know, sometimes you really see an animal out of nowhere and you just feel, you're like, oh, this is a sign, like it has nothing to do here, and you catch it when really you shouldn't have seen it. And so basically you are getting a message, and it's interesting to look at it, because then, you know what, whether the message is right or wrong for your life, it's going to make you reflect. So for example, the turtle talks about protection. It's kind of getting me to think like, do I agree with that or not? What is the message saying that is true to me or not? And making me reflect on my position towards protection at that time in my life. Numbers as well, I'm seeing a lot like 1111 or 111, lots of ones. And so for that, I go to Doreen Virtue website to know what are the meaning of seeing repeated numbers. You can also feel like, is your body light or heavy? Does it make you feel sick to think about something? You can get creative, and so for that I would really invite you to get into like a repetitive movement. So you can go run, you can dance, you can cook, you know, like when you cut the carrots, actually you can actually really have intuition coming in, because you're basically giving something to your ego and mind to play with. And so the repetitive pattern is going to help you, basically is going to help your subconscious send you message. Your subconscious has time to send you message. Playing piano, painting, coloring, whatever you want to do. Anything creative. You can also escape from your daily routine. Get away, just slow down, go on a retreat, take a sabbatical, you know, just spend a day in a new surrounding, so your senses are more, you're more in the present moment and mindful and feeling your senses more than if you're in autopilot going to work. So just go into new surroundings, nothing planned. Nothing planned. It might be hard for some of you, I know, but nothing planned. And you will see what you hear, what you feel like doing, etc. Because again, when you are overly busy, it's really hard to be sensitive to those quiet voices, and And so try to schedule time in your agenda, small time like 5-minute meditation, or bigger time like a weekend away, to see if your intuition pipes up and what is she telling you. I have some books also that I wanted to recommend, but I'll send that in the email as well. And yeah, I want to share with you the example of a client I received in Playa del Carmen for a private retreat, because intuition was really important for her. So we talked about, would you need to leave your corporate job before having your coaching business in place? And of course, I told her there was no hurry, and that this was a really big decision that she had to take. And the retreat I do in Playa and as well in France as like yoga and massages and spa treatment, and has coaching face-to-face with me, of course. But this is really for me to facilitate access to her intuition. And so that way she can really take decisions that come from like a calm and centered space. And so 1 week later, she finished the retreat with me. She had more vacation in Mexico, and she comes back home in England. And when she comes back 1 week later, we resume our weekly Skype meeting. And she announced me she had resigned. And so I was like, okay. 2 weeks after, she created, you have to understand, by resigning, she had created this space in her life for more things to come in. So 2 weeks later, after creating this space in her life, she said in the pre-session questionnaire that she has to fill in before our sessions, she said, in my last coaching session, we talked about things not being coincidences. And I really am in touch with asking the universe for what I want to happen. And it's working. And so now, she's in a position where she's much more aligned with her values, with her purpose, the impact she desires to have in the world, especially with the young teenagers she's coaching. That's what she really was attracted to. And so she supports them. And plus now she has the freedom to travel all the way she wants this winter. And so my job was really to plug this awesome woman into her intuition so she can be confident and find herself and be successful being who she truly is. And the results are always amazing. That I also resigned from my company. And so I had worked for them for 10 years, but I couldn't stand it anymore. It was really not aligned with my values, and I wasn't even clear on what I wanted to do. I just sold everything to move to Playa del Carmen, like I told you. And for me too, the magic of the universe had worked, and that gave me finally the headspace and the peace to think and feel about the signs I was meant to receive to start my coaching business. And I really got super clear, and after I tried them and got into my intuition. When I was in my job, it was just so demanding that I was in chaos in some way. It wasn't like super duper chaos, but I was too busy basically to listen to my intuition. And so really, for those of you who always ask me, what did I do? The exact steps. I created quietness in my life to listen to the intuition, and that's how I got this hint floating around about coaching. I tried it. I took action to see if I really liked it and verify it. And when it was verified, I ran with it. And then down the path of learning and working on my coaching business, there was more questions to ask, like who is my target market, what's my message, what's my mission. And so for that, I used my intuition, but honestly what boosted me the most is hiring my business coach. So I could really have like a one-on-one private support who would know about my business, who would know exactly where I was going and what I wanted, and who could give me the best advice. And that really made it so much faster for me, so much faster growth. So I just wanted to let you know, I just opened on my calendar 5 complimentary 15-minute session, and I call that Plug into Your Intuition. If you've seen my calendar, like now there is a new type of appointment, which is Plug into Your Intuition. It's not going to be here forever. I'm probably going to take it down next week when this challenge is over. So I definitely recommend you to go before the end of the week. And for that, you go to calendly.com/GailLecourt.com. So let me show you. So it's Calendly. I don't know why this is Calendly.com/GailLecourt. And so you see this is this one, and this is not going to be here forever, so definitely go. I don't know if it's up. All right, I'm gonna spell it for you. I have to figure out how to. I cleaned the camera. It's not like it's dirty. So www.calendly.com/GailLecourt, GailLecourt. So you can schedule this Plug into Your Intuition assessment. During this call, I will tell you, you will tell me like what you do already to connect with your intuition, if you have any practice, any routine, and then I will give you my feedback on what might be missing, what needs to be tweaked in your morning routine, for example, to make sure that you are indeed very well connected to your intuition. And make sure you are actually in a quiet space when you get on the phone with me, because if we need to plug in during the call, we won't be able to reach your intuition if you're in a public space, for example, or if you're in a busy environment. So make sure you're well set in a quiet space when we have our call. So that's it. I'm sorry I am again doing a 1-hour broadcast. It's just unbelievable. I have so much to share with you, ladies. If you need to see the replays, or if you've missed some of the beginning of this broadcast on Periscope, or the first days of the challenge, if you're just joining us, please get on the email list to receive all of them at the end of this challenge, as well as the workbook with the questions and the exercise I've been talking about, so that you can dive deeper. You can easily go to my website. It's www.GailLecourt.com, and you can click on the 5-day challenge. It's in the latest news. It's right below the big banner. And so thank you very much for joining live. Remember to post your insights onto the Facebook group and the answers that you get from the guided meditation I'm going to share with you. The Facebook community is called Finding Yourself Abroad, Reclaim Your Personal Freedom, and that way you can get my feedback. You can also get all the things that I said I would share in the Facebook group. And you can also actually get a chance to win a 1-hour coaching session with me by sharing your insight every day in the community. So thanks again for all the great energy. Make sure you're following me on Periscope at Lecourt Coaching, and that you're in the Facebook group. And again, join the mailing list if you want to know all the past video and the beginning of this scope, as well as the last one that we are going to do tomorrow. And that's it. Tomorrow, same time, same place. Join me at 12 p.m. It's New York time onto Periscope at Lecourt Coaching. Bye-bye, ladies.